So start with, let me turn all this up. Okay, start with just you, your feet together, chin to the chest. We almost always start with something for the back. So chin to the chest, roll down super slowly, like you're just trying to stretch out the hamstrings. Once you get as far down as you can go, bend the knees. So we're putting as much flexion in the ankles as possible, as much bend in the knees, and then come up and out of that and just reverse it. So high hips, roll all the way out of it. And then you're going into a reverse lunge and go fingertips lead up and over the head, arch the back, eyes up. So you're going through 10 of those, 5 on each side, alternating legs for the reverse lunge. So it's a hamstring stretch, squat, straighten out the legs, and then take the other leg back. The hardest part of this whole thing is remembering what leg you just took back last time. Feet together, chin to the chest, roll down. Bend the knees, straighten the legs, roll up and out of it. Reverse lunge. I'm probably doing the same leg every time. So these should be slow. It should feel good. Feet together. I have music. Hopefully it's not too loud. Yeah, nice job. All right, 10 of those, 5 on each leg. So the goal is to get as much movement in the back as possible, to put as much flexion in the ankles and the knees as possible, to go back through that hamstring stretch. And then reverse lunge. If you can, take the eyes with the fingertips and then come all the way back. 10 of those, each of those are kind of long. So this is a long one. This is a good wake up the body sequence. This is like, I always say this, but if you could only do one exercise ever, this would be one of the good ones. It would be up there on my list. See if you can control the breathing, so you're breathing out of the belly, less of that like high anxiety shoulder breath. Reverse lunge, reach. You should only have about 1 or 2 more left. Bend the knees. That balance is a little funky when you have to take the eyes with you. All right, you should be on your last one. Hips up, roll back. Maybe we did extra, maybe we didn't do enough. We got somewhere around 10. All right, from there, go super wide stance for the feet. Toes pointed forward, so it should feel good. Hands behind the back, and you're just dropping the chest over that left knee and coming all the way back up. Bend the left knee, drop the chest, come all the way back up. 10. So from the side, you're here. That right leg is staying, or whatever leg you're not bending, is staying really straight. It's just like a peg leg. So you're getting this big stretch in the inside of that leg. Should feel good. See if you can keep constant movement. So there's really no pause at the top or the bottom. You're just going from the down right into the up. Same thing on the other side. Whenever you're ready, you're going through 10. Should feel good. You should feel like the legs working together. So the quad is pushing you up. The hamstring's not necessarily pulling you down, but it's controlling that descent down. 10 of those, guys. And then, we've never done these before, but I made this up and it felt really good the other day. So once you're done with 10 on each side, go feet together, bend the knees, and go down as low as you can into a squat. If it takes coming up onto the toes, you can do that too. If you just don't have that room for movement in the Achilles. Palms are facing each other. Take one arm forward, one arm back, and then switch. So you're doing 10 on each side, with the goal being that furthest range of motion, you're trying to get it a little further each time. So my shoulders are the one, there's movement in my shoulders, but there's no movement through my core. I'm not moving the chest. I'm trying to keep all of that rotation, all of that swing isolated to that shoulder socket. And you can go hips low, hips high, whatever feels good. When you're done with 10 on each arm, chest slowly. Legs should feel like they got a little fatigued from that. So we'll go through that 2 more times, all right? That whole sequence, all 3 of those things. So start with the feet together, back to these, chin to the chest, roll down slow, bend the knees, straighten the legs. And going into that reverse lunge, the only difference is now you're gonna go arms above the head and lean towards the direction of the leg that's out in front. Come back out of that, and then again, go chin to the chest, roll down, reach for the ground, bend the knees, straighten out the legs, roll up and out of it, go into that reverse lunge, always leaning towards whatever leg is in front. So we're trying to get this big stretch from that elbow to the shoulder, through the ribs, to the front of that hip. And you can start moving through that a little quicker if it feels good. Lunge, lean. I kind of use this bottom arm to help almost pull that top arm over further. This is all just supposed to feel good. So if anything doesn't feel good, modify it. If the lunge bothers you, you can actually just stay in that squat and go into that stretch. Sometimes those reverse lunges can hurt you if you've ever had any like knee work, if you have any kind of knee pain you're currently dealing with. Reverse lunge, lean. All of this should feel good. You should be about halfway through. These take a while, but this is a good sequence. So each time, right now we're on that second round. We're gonna do 3 rounds. First round is always that sagittal movement, that forward to back. That's where we do that big lean to the back. Second round is always frontal plane, so that's this like, jumping jack style plane. And third round is always rotational, so third one will twist. And we do it in that sequence because you're least likely to get injured doing that first one, so we do that when you're still kind of cold. All right, maybe you should be on your last 1 or 2. Finish with this one. Nice job. All right. When you're done there, going back to this super, super wide stance, hands behind the back. So this is a progressive movement. We're just gonna keep adding on to it. Last time you just went down to your left knee and came back up. This time you're going down to your left knee and going over to the right quickly and then coming back up slowly. So 4 parts. 1, drop down slow. 2, shift over quick. 3, shift back quick. 4, back up slow. So it's slow, quick, quick, slow. There's a dance that has that same, is it like 2-step? Not 2-step, waltz. Slow down, quick, quick, slow. Slow down to one knee, quick shift, slow to return back. Check that the neck is staying as an extension of the spine, so you're not craning it back or tucking the chin under. Legs are wide, check that the legs don't turn out. A lot of times we do that just because it feels a little easier. So try to stay with that parallel feet. When you're done with those 10, you should be about done. If not already, have switched to the other side. The same thing happens, slow, quick, quick, slow. My shoulders are staying even, so there's no rotation, there's no lean. That lower back's just firing to hold the chest in that kind of parallel to the ground position. Quick, quick, slow. Slow, quick, quick, slow. Is that a waltz? I'm just gonna drive me crazy now. There's some ballroom dance that has that same count. All right, when you're done there, we're going back to that funky little squat thing we were doing earlier. So feet are together, Squat down to wherever it feels comfortable. And remember, right now we're doing everything on frontal plane. So your arms are basically just gonna recreate what they would if they were doing a jumping jack or like a snow angel. So you're going thumbs together over the head, pinkies back to the hips. Thumbs overhead, pinkies back to the hips. So my palms are staying facing down the whole time. You can have your hips at like knee level, or if you feel like you can go into that really low squat, go for it. Or if you can only do this like half squat, whatever feels good. We're just trying to get movement in the shoulders. 10 of those. Should feel like it warms up the back. When you're done with those 10, we're done with the second round and we'll move on to the third. So that third one, it's gonna be the same, feet together, chin to the chest, roll down slowly. Bend the knees, straighten the knees. Reverse lunge and twist towards whatever leg is out in front. So you're trying to create this big twist. If you twist it the wrong way, you'd feel it. It just doesn't feel very stable. Reverse lunge, twist the other way. 10 of these guys, 5 on each side. You got a few of them. Reverse lunge, twist. And again, I use that free hand. So if I'm twisting left, I'll use that left hand to kind of grab onto the right hand and pull it a little further than I otherwise feel like I could have. Also gives you a little stretch in the lat. Reverse lunge, twist. This should all feel good. Vertical spine, big rotation. Nice work, guys. This one requires some patience. It's a long one. Promise, last time we're doing these, we do have some balance and vision stuff to come. All right, that should be 10-ish. Finish on that one. Nice job. When you're done there, go back to the wide feet, wide stance for the feet. Adding on to this, imagine you just have like a dot right here on your sternum, right on the chest, and you're just trying to draw a big circle. So I'm going left knee, right knee, all the way back up. Left knee, right knee, all the way back to vertical. So go through 10 of those in one direction and 10 in the other. This is very much like a speed skater move. It's actually like a boxer move. They do the like bob and weave kind of movement. We do it because it just hits ranges of motion in a runner's hips that don't really get hit. 10 of these guys. Hands behind the back. I mean, you could always have them out in front. It just feels like, what do you do with them? Hands behind your back feels like it's clean. You feel like a real speed skater. Same thing on the other side. Whenever you're ready, 10. This time we go to the right side first. Over to the left and back up. Then the right, over to the left and back up. So the legs are working together here. Push, pull. You can come in, buddy. We just went to a bike shop. Bikes are currently out of bikes, like completely, so you can't buy a bike. So they opened up a bar in their bike shop and they call it push, pull, which I thought was fun. There's Paxton. See if they can see. Welcome to Zoom. All right, finish that one. And then we're going feet together. Rotational for the arms. So this one's kind of funky, but you're gonna go feet together. Go down into that squat. Start with palms up and then bring the arms around and they end up palms up behind you. So palms come up, facing up. Arms come out wide and you're going palms up at the end of that. So palms up forward, palms up back. Go through 10 of those. So this is just a huge rotation for the shoulder. We're runners and we think about our legs a lot, but it's important to at least keep the shoulders healthy. You don't necessarily need to lift any weight to keep your shoulders healthy. They just need to move. 10 of these each way. This is a good like swimmer's drill. If you had bands, you could do the same kind of thing with bands and add a little resistance. All right, when you're done with 10 of each of those, stand up. Shake out the legs, should feel good. Okay, balancing and vision. So start balancing on the left foot. Reach with your right hand. So left foot's balancing, right hand is reaching. Reach forward as far as you can. When you're done, come up, reach the right hand up and take the eyes up. Right hand reaches forward. Eyes are looking at the ground where the fingertips are going. And then right hand goes up, eyes go up. 10 of these. We do a ton of balance stuff, but as soon as you take away, so you're like, I've already mastered these single leg deadlifts. As soon as you get to that point, just change your vision and it can make everything so much harder. We get so used to just staring at one spot, which is great, but when you're running or when anything else in life is happening, you don't necessarily always have that. So this is just training you to not depend on that one focal point and instead to just generally be aware of that spatial awareness of where your body is, where the weight is on the foot, without having to have that single visual spot. When you're done with that side, just switch, other leg. If you're balancing on the right foot, you're reaching with the left hand. Eyes look forward, fingertips go. Eyes look up, fingertips go there. And one side almost always feels better than the other. So, and often it's the second side that you do that feels harder. My theory is that you just figured out how to balance on the other side. And now, not only do you have to balance, but now you have to like figure out the mirror image balance of what you had just done on the other side. Move smoothly as I fall over. I'm not sure you could ever really totally master these things. I do them every day and I swear I'm still working on it. All right, 10 of those guys. You should only have like 1 or 2 left. And then we're gonna do a balance leg lift. So just working on the hip flexor. So when you're done there, balance on the left leg, raise the right leg up, bend the knee, extend the leg, drop the leg. Lift, bend, extend, drop down. Lift, bend, lift, drop down. So make those 4 distinct movements. Each movement has just a brief pause. And that's just good to keep you from doing this like choomp, something where you're trying to like quickly connect them all. It's better to just tell the hip flexor to fire and then pause. The hamstring to fire, then pause. So go through 10 of those. And then when you're done, just switch sides. Easy enough. 10 on the other side. Whenever you're ready. I always joke that I should go back through and watch these videos and see, do I actually do 10? I always say 10. Am I always doing 8? Or do I do too many? I don't count. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that. Ish. I've been doing this long enough, I know ish what 10 feels like. 10-ish of these. Just think of the body like a machine. There's one lever that pulls the leg up, a different lever that pulls the leg in, and then they repeat in that same order to return. All right, once you're done with those, you're going back to your balance. So that one just has 2 drills. Balance on the left leg, right hand reaches forward. So same thing we did last time. The only difference is, and some people think this one's easier, when you come up, rather than looking up, I'm gonna rotate around and look backwards as my hand reaches back. So balancing on the left leg, That forward reach is exactly the same. Then imagine you're just like pulling a bow and arrow and then rolling that arm out and then come right back down. 10 of these guys. It should feel easier than to look up. I think we're more often used to looking around rather than looking up. Tends to make you dizzier. Big rotation so that shoulder's going with that unraveling arm. We'll go through this one more time and you'll actually still do the same thing with the upper half of the body. Ooh. But we'll add a rotation for the hip on the bottom half of the movement. So just kind of slowly getting into this more advanced single leg touchdown. When you're done with those 10, switch sides. Same idea, other leg and other arm. Fresh leg, fresh arm, easy enough. Reach forward and rotation back. Should feel like a good big stretch for the chest. We're not doing any weight bearing stuff for the arms today. We're doing a lot of just opening up the arms. Reach, rotation, reach. Ooh. Think about something else. Similar idea, but now so rather than having that forward lift, you're gonna go lift. Notice the toes are pointed forward. Tuck the knee in, extend the leg, drop the leg back down. So from the side, you're here, side raise, knee tuck, extend, drop down. Leg raise. I think the hardest part here is that your body will want to try to like help out that leg a little bit and it will want to lean. The idea is keep the spine straight up and down. What? Teddies and then switch sides. Go put it back in. All right, when you're done there, same thing on the other side. We're just talking about this like rectangle, right? Here are the tops, here are the bottoms of your rectangle. Think about keeping that even. I like to put my like hips on the pelvis so that then it emphasizes if I'm doing this like hip dip. You can kind of feel that iliac crest of the pelvis. You wanna do this with me, pal? Nice job. It should feel like that lift is super isolated to that hip abductor. Should feel good. It should feel hard. The leg doesn't really easily get lifted straight out to the side. All right, we're gonna go through one more of each of those and then you're done. I don't know what the child is doing. All right, when you're done with 10 on each side, we'll go back to your balance drill. And then we're gonna add a rotation in this hip. So we're gonna go into speed skater tuck, reach forward, come out of that. And then like I said last time, that top half of that movement will be the same. So the upper half of your body, as far as it's concerned, is doing the exact same as it. Speed skater, reach for that leg, all the way back up, rotation, reach. So it should feel a little harder. It's definitely more demanding on the hip. Maybe not going into it, but correcting out of it. There's just more range of motion, more angles to fix for that hip. So it should feel harder. Reach, return. If the bottom half of your leg starts to get tired, a lot of times below the knee will just start to cramp. faster than I do. It always feels good to switch because your leg, you realize how tired. So remember, if you're balancing on the right leg, you're reaching with the left arm. And that's called common directional reach because it's how we commonly move. We move right, we move cross-body dominant, right? Our left arm swings forward. Yeah, our left arm swings forward as our right leg swings forward. If you end up reaching with the same arm, you get this kind of funky barn door effect, like you're opening up to the side. All right, 10 of those. Maybe you notice one leg has more balance than the other. It's an interesting question to ask people which leg they think is stronger. And often they'll say it's the leg that they think is easier to balance on. But it's possible to have better control over balance in one leg and have less actual muscle on it. We used to always test people on that. It was a pretty fun experiment. All right, 10 of those guys. Nice job. When you're done there, very last thing we're doing, I'm sure you can guess it, kicking that leg to the back. So without leaning forward, lift that leg straight back, bend the knee, kick the leg out, drop the leg. So it's like this donkey kick. Lift the leg, bend the knee, straighten, drop. So 4 moves, 10 on each side. Last thing you're doing. We didn't do any planks or abs this time, which is very rare, I know. But I had this whole hip sequence I wanted you guys to go through. I should just tell you, do 100 sit-ups after this, and then there you go. 100 of anything will make you tired. All right, same thing on the other side. If you haven't already finished those 10, switch sides. Again, check that you're not leaning forward. Our bodies are very smart, and they'll try to do things to help us out. Just tell the upper half of the body, just chill out. I know it makes more sense for me to lean forward. I could get the leg up higher. It would be a more efficient way to move, but that's not what we're doing right now. You have to like override your body's urge to be more efficient. Opportunist body. All right, 10 of those guys. That should feel good. We did shoulder mobility, we did balance, we did vision drills, we did hip opener, groin stretch, balance, hamstring, squats. We did it all. It was awesome. It's always so fun to see you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.